So one of the other questions we're looking at yesterday, I was questioning Sean Spicer's credibility because I really think it's at risk, in jeopardy, or shot, if you really think about it and you go through kind of a timeline. Now you might want to add questioning his stability. In yesterday's press brief, did you see him yesterday?
Yeah.
He kind of snapped.
Sounded like mansplaining.
I think things are getting in his head, which is really early for that to be happening, but then again, think about it. It happened when American Urban Radio Network's correspondent April Ryan questioned him over the administration's image, and I didn't really see her shaking her head.
She didn't shake her head.
Did anyone see her shaking her head?
She looked at.
So what does shaking your head look like? Like this, right?
You did to me.
Okay.
She was looking down at her paper.
There's two shots here going on.
No.
I never saw any head shaking. I don't know what's going on. Take a look.
2.5 months in, you've got the Shade story today. You've got other things going on. You've got Russia. You've got wiretapping. You've got.
No, we don't have that. You. I know.
On Capitol Hill.
No, I get it, but you keep. I've said it from the day that I got here until whatever, that there is no connection. You've got Russia. If the president puts Russian salad dressing on his salad tonight, somehow that's a Russian connection. But every single person, no, that's, I appreciate your agenda here, but the reality is, oh, no, hold on. No, at some point, report the facts. The facts are that every single person who has been briefed on this subject has come away with the same conclusion. Republican, Democrat, so I'm sorry that disgusts you. You're shaking your head. I appreciate it, but understand this: that at some point the facts are what they are. Hold on. But April, hold on. It seems like you're hell-bent on trying to make sure that whatever image you want to tell about this White House stays, because at the end of the day, let me answer. I understand. Okay, but you know what? You're asking me a question, and I'm going to answer it, which is the president. I'm sorry. Please stop shaking your head again.
My God.
What is wrong with him?
Is he kidding me? What? He wasn't. Mike Barnacle. She wasn't shaking her head.
No,
first of all. Secondly,
understand
how condescending can anybody be? Third, this is not a first grade class.
Look, clearly
that was just simply beyond the pale.
Someone is in way over his head.
Well, yes. I mean, there's a part of me that has great sympathy for him, because he's got an audience of one that he's dealing with, the President of the United States. The other thing is, he clearly does not have the temperament to be press secretary.
No, he does not.
Josh Ernst was in here the other day. He had the temperament to be.
By the way, Mike McCurry
had the temperament.
Mike McCurry was there when hell was raining down from above. He stayed calm. Tony Snow was there during a really tough time for Bush. We remember Tony Snow. I mean, the thing is, you just don't have to be abusive. And in that situation, Steve Kornacki, I've never heard anybody be as condescending from that position, and abusive for accusing somebody of doing something they weren't even doing.
Yeah, no, and I kind of where Mike is on it too, where I'm trying to imagine, though, the sort of the political professional, the communication specialist who could step into this role and meet the demands being placed on him or her by Donald Trump, by the boss, by the guy who we think is behind the scenes every day when these press conferences are going out, and a reporter like April Ryan speaks up, and it's in your mind that Donald Trump is behind there judging you on, I guess, how tough you are, how forceful you are, those sorts of things. I don't know who. I'm not saying he did himself. I'm not saying he did the White House any favors in that situation yesterday.
We need to automate the role.
No,
it's like you're sitting at a casino and you're losing on the slot machine, and you're getting mad at the machine, and it's the guy who programmed the machine.
It's very clear the problem here.
April,
the guy has absolutely no ability, none at all, none, to say, Mr. President, this is the wrong thing to do. He can't do it. He doesn't have the ability.
Around Donald
it's a sign of massive weakness.
Mika,
and then he gets out there and he loses his you-know-what, because he's absolutely tied up in his head, because he has an inability to speak his mind.
Sean Spicer should tell Donald Trump, I'm not doing your bidding anymore, if it means being abusive. But nobody around Donald Trump is telling him the truth.
I know.
Nobody. And we'll go back to
nice if somebody tried.
We'll go back to the first day, and I won't reveal my sources, but the first day, somebody tweeted pictures of the crowd sizes before Spicer's first press conference.
Hostage video.
I picked up the phone and I called somebody very high up at the White House, and I said, I just want you to know
This is the dumbest thing.
that this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And if on the president's first night in the Oval Office, you guys talk about crowd size, we are going to strip the bark off your tree for the next week. We're going to kill you.
No, I mean, that right there shows that he's unmatched.
Okay,
Should have said no.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Thank you. I'll just,
Yes.
the stories will be a lot shorter
Stop
if
shaking
you'll
your
let
head,
me
Joe.
finish.
Sorry.
If you'll just let me finish, the stories will be a lot shorter.
Continue.
Thank you. And so they said, after it was over, I called up and said, you just couldn't help yourself. You just couldn't help yourself. You all look like total idiots. I
Yeah.
added a word in there.
Frauds.
And he said, this person said, you should have seen how bad it was going to be. And after Sean finished his press conference that you're screaming at us about, he then went into the Oval Office and the president screamed at him for being too weak.
Oh.
And then screamed at him for wearing a light suit.
And that's when you say.
That's when you say, Mike, this job's just not for me.
So, but Joe, I mean, what you raise and what Steve just mentioned is, you know, who can go into the President of the United States, who can walk into the Oval and say, Mr. President, you're
Nobody.
wrong. But even if you had a Jim Baker, walking into the office, you have to have someone who's receptive to hearing that kind of counsel. And I don't think it appears that the President of the United States isn't receptive.
You know,
to
I don't
that.
know where the chicken or egg, but somebody has to actually give that kind of counsel. And if he's not receptive, great, leave. Sean Spicer leaving on day 2 would have said a lot and done a lot for this presidency. Would have been better than him staying there hanging on like a complete shill, lying. Mark Halperin, question I've been asking for the past 2 days. With a smile on my face, and I just want a yes or a no.
No, not a smile on your
Is Sean Spicer credible?
Not within the briefing room with a lot of the people who cover him every day. And you know, the thing is, some people use the White House podium to just get through the day, not make news, not get any advantage. He has become such a voice and such a face of the administration. They're not winning most news cycles, and in part it's because that briefing daily is setting them back rather than getting them going forward.
You know, there's no reason why he had to do that with April Ryan. April asked the question, answer the question. Move on to the next person.
Temperament.
He takes a lot of simple questions and turns them into big fights. Now listen, he takes a lot of abuse day in and day out. But guess what? Read Marlon Fitzwater's book. Marlon Fitzwater said, you know, every day you go there, that's the press's job, whether it's George H.W. Bush or, you know, what about Carney? Carney was a loved guy. At Time Magazine, we loved him. We chatted on the show. He got behind that podium. It didn't take him long to be a total jerk.
If you look at what
I mean, you just get it every day. You get, you know, it is a tough, tough job.
It might be time to rethink the job itself. I mean, you have the virtual cream of the crop of network broadcasters, print people. They're sitting in the White House press room. You get no news out of there. You know, why not send, you know, some younger people, some interns over to just record what the press secretary says? I mean, you're not going to, they're not breaking any big stories in that White House press room. It's just not happening.
It's worse than that. And if you look at what the job is, he's not serving the president or the people. He's not doing the job. Still ahead on Morning Joe, Senator Bernie Sanders joins us live. Plus,
hopefully it'll start being bipartisan because everybody really wants the same thing. We want greatness for this country that we love. So I think we're going to have some very good relationships. Right, Chuck? I see Chuck. Hello, Chuck. And I really think that will happen.
Donald Trump once said on our show that he would get things done with Chuck Schumer. But according to some reports, they haven't talked since he took office. Was there a thaw in the icy relationship last night at the White House? But first, Bill Cairns with a check on the forecast. Bill.
You guys want to see the sun today for the
forecast?
Yeah, why not, right? Yeah, some sunshine for about 2 days in the Northeast, while the middle of the country is going to suffer from the severe storms and a lot of heavy rain. So let's get into the dangerous stuff from yesterday. 14 tornadoes were reported, but they happened where we want them to, out in rural sections of western Texas and western Oklahoma. That was a pretty strong one right there. No reports of any injuries. injuries and no fatalities. So that's great. So last night, the storms then rolled through Dallas overnight. In the middle of the night, 100,000 people without power. The storms have weakened. Then later today, we do it all over again. This is a 3-day outbreak. 20 million people at risk today. If you're in areas of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, or East Texas, you're most at risk, and even portions of southern Missouri, too. A few tornadoes. Then tomorrow will be even worse. We have 29 million people at risk, including Paducah, Nashville, Memphis, and Tupelo. This is an area of the country you could see possibility not just of tornadoes, but maybe even a few strong tornadoes. And as I mentioned, a little piece of good news out there today. D.C. 65 and sunny's gorgeous. Atlanta's fantastic. And in New York, we'll sneak up to about 58 degrees, which will actually feel good compared to how chilly and wet this entire March has been. So Washington, D.C., cherry blossoms are near peak at the mall. Beautiful day heading your way. You're watching Morning Joe. We'll be right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.